So here we're showing one of our A4 transactional devices, the mini copier concept. Now this is available in both transactional, as you see here, or the managed series, which we'll show you in just a few minutes as well. The key differences for it is route to market. Obviously, the transactional is intended for kind of open distribution, whereas the managed is only through our managed partners for it. In this particular case, you're going to see some unique features and capabilities across the device, but the A4 devices are designed to be kind of that mini copier. Traditionally, people had been buying A3 devices to be able to have the faster speeds, or in many cases, the finishing options. As you see across here, there is a finisher version available here in the 6800 to be able to show it off. But the idea of having finishing now, typically people had bought A3 in the past because they required the finishing or the speeds for it. Well, now we're getting devices that have the ability to have a similar kind of speed and capability and a smaller footprint. In some parts of the world, this becomes very critical. If you were in Midtown Manhattan, where square footage of real estate is exceptionally expensive per square foot, every little bit you can save is a better to your bottom line. Similar kind of design as far as layout for it. You are noticing also the color scheme for it. This is outfitted in the nice purple color that's there, which gives you the kind of view of the different aesthetics that are available on these different devices. In the case of the A4 devices, many of the colors are available via the CTO or config to order process for it. And this one's outfitted with a keyboard as well. See, this is a flow device with a keyboard on it. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on the control panel, or excuse me, on the document feeder for it. We'll talk through a couple things that are unique to this particular series that you don't find elsewhere on other devices. So one thing we look at, this is still outfitted as a flow device, which means it has all the flow capabilities as far as searchable PDF, the full capabilities for it. Has the HP Every Page Scan technology, and also is outfitted with the reverse and retry capabilities on the 6000 series. One thing that's unique on this, you see the design of the document feeder is that it's designed to be a little bit smaller footprint, and it uses what we call an inverse C feeding mechanism. So we put documents into the document feeder, you're going to see a couple things are going to happen there. Placing it in, the device pivots up, and now it's going to be able to scan from the bottom and then output on the top. What's unique about this is, again, getting similar capacities. I think in this case, this is configured as 200 sheets capacity and speeds that are very, very fast. And then also when it's done, it has the ability to have a visual indicator that your output's still there, your originals are still there. Can avoid somebody walking away without it. And you notice once the pages are removed, it does go down flat again to give you a nice clean surface. Now, a funny question always comes up is, what if somebody puts their coffee cup on there? Well, we have a couple little pictures that say don't do that, but I actually have it set up that there's actually, as one of our firmware updates, there is actually an update that detects that something is there. It's going to notify you before it tries to tip and tries to load the pages in there. The key thing is don't put your coffee cups on top of your document feeders and you won't have a problem with it. In this one, we open up the glass, similar ideas you see on the A3 devices, and you're going to have a dedicated scanning window for it, as well as the ability to be able to have that infinity glass we've talked about as well. And so again, this is set up to be letter legal on the glass, but it does have a dedicated scanning window and the infinity glass on both sides to make it very simple to remove the documents from there. So you get good speeds, good capabilities, and the same kind of features and capabilities you saw on the A3 device are present here as far as the flow capabilities and the reverse and retry. So now if we're going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit, and let's just go through the machine kind of top to bottom. We've talked about the document feeder. We'll talk about the control panel here in a little bit. You see kind of a similar design as far as the device layout for it. At the top, you'll have access to where you see the keyboard that's there that can kind of fold out of the way, so it's not being used, but it's also fully adjustable for Americans with Disability Act. Those various things are fully eligible for it, and then ease of access in the control panel. You also then have the ability, as you look down below, multiple positioning for it, which just shows anybody can do that, and then it can actually kind of get out of the way completely. You'll notice also beneath there is a card reader area there, so you do have the ability to be able to have like badge reading and so forth. Okay, so ease of access as far as toner cartridges. Now in this case, the transactional, you see the traditional toner cartridges of having the toner plus the drum together. The managed version, as we'll show you in a little bit, will have them separate, gives you a little bit lower cost per page. The benefit of this is you get a really reliable system. It does have the all the toner enhancements we're familiar with, as well as the ability to be able to have easy replaceability. It's available in a standard A cartridge or an X cartridge for high capacity, and designed again to give you a little bit lower cost per page and capabilities for it. But again, because it's a single cartridge system, meaning the drum and the toners together, it's just like traditional transactional HP LaserJet A3 products. And then easy access on it. And then as you start going down beneath it, down farther below, you start getting the paper trays and capabilities for it. In this case, you have, again, the primary tray number 1 is the bypass on the side, so trays number 2, 3, and then this is outputted with a high capacity input at the bottom as far as for tray number 4. The benefit is you have multiple different configurations for it as far as how you want to be able to configure the device, but it gives you that flexibility in a smaller footprint, including the high capacity input for it. Okay, so now, so looking at the device, and one of the things we see is, again, the right-hand side will be access as far as jam clearance on it, ease of access for it. One of the key things with this class of product is that all the major components can be replaced within about 5 minutes. And in fact, there's actually a demo one time that was done on stage as part of the introduction of this particular product. And we actually had a technician standing there while the presenter was presenting and taking apart the device and all the primary components. And then at the very end, putting it all back together again in that same period of time. That's pretty impressive to kind of see how fast it's designed to be able to do that. So see ease of use from a jam clearance area, but also more importantly, from being able to go through and take care of any service needs that are there from a technician standpoint. You'll also notice just above the door there is a little convenient stapler that has an offline staple that allows you to be able to do offline staples, much like you saw on the A3 device. Again, by opening this up, it's exposing the majority of the paper path at this particular time. All right, now let's go ahead and we're going to scroll to the left a little bit and be able to talk about the finisher. Again, one of the key things in these particular devices is the ability to be able to configure it with an external finisher. Now, unlike on the A3 devices where they're modular and can be added at any time, the finishers on these devices for the A4 at the time of purchase, they actually have a physically different chassis to be able to make it work. Similar design parameters to what you see on the A3 as far as the texture on the front of it. And then you have similar kind of capabilities and feature sets for it. The benefit truly of this, as we get into position for it, is just that you have the ability to have, again, finishing if you need it in a footprint that's a little bit smaller and gives you other capabilities for it. In this particular case, you have multiple output locations that can come to, and you can actually, from the print driver or from the copy screen, be able to select the appropriate output, whether it be unfinished output through the main tray that's just to the left of the control panel, or being able to have more finished output or dedicated use output through the other trays, including the ability to have the high capacity output and the stapler stacker for it. Similar kind of functionality, and if we open the door on the finisher, you'll see a similar spot as far as getting access to it. Again, everything in there is very clearly marked as far as what you can manipulate, any places where you might need to be able to clear a jam at, or for example, replace a toner cartridge, or replace a staple cartridge, or perhaps the reservoir for the for like the hole punch, the confetti tray. And that is essentially looking at the 677 series. Again, key things to remember on it is you have a flow device. You do have the ability to have that, again, that full flow feature set, including reverse and retry, that inverse C feeding mechanism on the document feeder, the ability to have the multiple colors through the config to order process, ease of access as far as the jam clearance, and in this case, the ability to have the optional or the finisher for it in this particular model. Just a reminder, the finisher is configured at the time of manufacturing and it ships complete as opposed to having it be a device you get or an accessory you can add after the fact.